Renting versus buying in Brisbane Town, friends. Which is better? Rent or buy? Now, a lot of you fine folks out there have been asking me, and I hear the chit-chat around the cafes here in Brisbane Town. I hear y'all, and the question for y'all is whether you should buy that property and become one of them daddy old big pants with the property tycoons, or whether you should rent and be at the mercy of bogans who think they'll be millionaires by buying property. The question for you out there is, which one do you do? Now, for me, it's kind of like when you're eating. You got to know, I like me some nice French fried potatoes. But do I buy them or do I just make them myself? Well, that ain't no good analogy, because the rent and buying dichotomy or decision ain't the right way to look at it. First of all, friends, you got to live your own life. And if you like to make them French fried potatoes, you make them. On the other hand, if you like to work and then spend that $1.50 or $3 on them French fried potatoes, then you buy them. And you can put salt on them too. And here's the thing. When you're buying a house or an apartment, as they're called sometimes, dog boxes, you got a choice where you buy. But once you make that decision, you don't always get a chance to sell it. You can ask them folks up there in Fukushima right now how they're going selling all their properties. See, sometimes you don't always have a choice when you buy. You're stuck with it. On the other hand, when you're renting, you can move around, do whatever the hell you like. And for most people, that's better than being one of them people who are daddy old big pants. Look at me, I got a big house, and you haven't. So, that's the first decision. Now, the second thing you need to look at is this. This decision is wrong, and there are many reasons. If you're one of them young folks with fancy degrees, and you can get a passport, and you like getting on planes and stuff, then you don't have to rent or buy here. You can just go. There are lots of economies around the world that ain't propping up the house prices at the expense of other industries. So you can go there, and you can become somebody because you speak the English. And because you speak the English, then you can decide to be somebody there. So there ain't no generation rent. I think this chit-chat is missing the point, friends. I believe it's generation tent. Because there ain't nothing wrong with renting. But you don't need a house full of stuff like you did back in your grandpa's day just to maintain your existence and the way you do things. However, there are a whole bunch of people with IQs below 100, i.e. people in bank and real estate, insurance, etc., who make you think that if you don't buy a house, you ain't going to be a daddy old big pants. And you got to buy stuff to put in your house, because you don't want your house to be empty now, do you? So, remember, you don't have to worry about houses. In fact, them young folks do not care about houses at all, because they got high degrees, fancy degrees, high IQs, passports, and they don't care a fig about doing anything we old folks tell them to do and having a big house and being daddy big pants. They can see through all the marketing horse shit, friends. They don't believe that owning a house is the road to being daddy big pants. They can live in a tent if they have to, in a hostel, They can travel perpetually. They can work overseas with their big old fancy pieces of paper they got from them fancy universities. I mean, what can they do here with them degrees these days? Nothing. You get an extra shift at the Pig and Whistle, if you're lucky. So, they can travel with their degrees, and they can be somebody, and they can even take their computers with them. Now, I'm just new to internet. I got this computer because my friend's son is technically in computers minded. I got it for $5,000, and I got the modem with it too. But these young folks, they got computers, fancy ones, they can put inside their bag and travel with them, do all their work they want. When they can go to these cafes, the fancy ones, and they can connect to the internet without even having to hook it up. They can just do it over the radio. So, I don't think they need all the stuff to put in a house, and they don't need a house. So, rent or buy is a false choice, and I think it's wrong. Now, of course, there are a few folks out there who have big-ass utility trucks, like to drive them around the city, make it all look ghetto and stuff. And they will continue to keep breeding, and they'll breed little guys who have their own little utility trucks, and they'll need a home for their utility trucks and their children. I get it. Ask the cholos who want to be, I own property, you don't, daddy old big pants, and have a need for it. You'll understand who I'm talking about here, because you guys will need the property to park your utility truck and put all your toolboxes away and have your wife and your kids and your utility trucks to live the life, the dream life you always wanted, which is fine. But a lot of them young folks with the fancy degrees don't want to do that. So they're just going to leave, because there are lots of places around the world they can travel. They can get married somewhere. They don't have to get married. They can get work, and they will just leave. And so we'll start getting the people to come in who will buy the houses. People from third world countries like China, India, New Zealand, and England. And these people are screaming out for the dream life here in the great city of Brisbane Town. And these folks will buy property. But them young folks, your children, you kiss them goodbye, because I don't believe they're going to spend the money, the asking price for them properties. And even if you gave them a house here, once they travel, I don't think they'd want to live here. Okay, friends, renting versus buying versus Generation 10. Tell Billy Jack the truth below. Rate, subscribe, share. Give me a thumbs up. Bye for now.